What's going on, everyone? New World Order Survival Guy. Today, I'm going to bring some light to what's happening before your very eyes, and nobody's catching this. I figured this out, put two and two together, and I found out some credible results. As you know, or you may not know, Canada is basically wanting their sovereignty from Ontario, Ottawa. So they're basically seeking to exit, they call it Wexit, leaving the stronghold and the authoritarian of Ontario, of Ottawa. Now, Ottawa's been robbing a lot of the provinces blind from everything, and not like, for instance, Alberta is leading the whole movement over there in Canada, wanting just Ottawa's just robbing Alberta and a lot of these provinces blind of everything they earn, and they don't put no money towards their provinces or anything like that. So they want to leave, and they're doing it, and they're doing it legally and forcefully, and they're tired of it and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you what this is towards the end of the video. I'm just gonna piece it together for you so you can find out, so you can see what's going on here and the movement that it's leading to. United States is about to, and mark my words, is about to be the largest country in the world by a good margin. It is coming. Russia, for instance, though being the largest country in the world at 17.1 million square kilometers. Huge country, right? Canada is second largest country in the world at 9.98 million square kilometers. USA and Canada are kind of neck to neck and landmass, but China barely beats United States in landmass. So United States coming in fourth place at 9.83 million square kilometers, is going to be joining Canada here very shortly. So let me put on the specs and get into it. Now, you know, Trump presidency, during the election and stuff like that, he was talking about Canada joining the United States. Now, all of a sudden, Canada is crumbling, and most of the provinces talking about joining the United States. Trump was also talking about Greenland joining the United States. He wanted to take that territory over, and he will. And he will. Mark my words. So, let's just get into this. So, right now, on board, thus far, Yukon, Canada, which is a territory, not a province. British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and now Quebec is on board with joining the United States. They've already announced it. They're trying to push the final legal stuff through, and there's legally nothing that Ontario or Ottawa can do about it. We're just waiting for the finalization on that move. Now, Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. The 3 territories is Yukon, Northwest Territory, and Nunavut. And the provinces is British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Quebec, Ontario, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia. Now, Ontario, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia are not on board yet. They will. Mark my words, they will. Because they're scattered other than the little small provinces on the east coast of Canada. They're going to have no choice but to cave in and join with the United States, which is part of the plan, which I'll get into a little later. So, with Canada and the United States joining together, it will be 19.7 million square kilometers. Like I said before, Russia is 17.1 million square kilometers. Right there, it'll already make United States bigger landmass than Russia. And that's not including water territories. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about landmass territories. Now, you're going to add Greenland into that. It's going to add 2.166086 square kilometers to that, which they're going to get Greenland. The United States is going to own Greenland. Mark my words right here. And not only that, it's why did Trump take over Gulf of Mexico and have it now Gulf of America? I'll tell you why. Because the United States is going to take Mexico next after this Canadian Greenland stuff. And they're going to use the cartel and unstable government of Mexico and all that. They're going to get Mexico. Mexico will be United States. So, Greenland is part of North America. Politically, it's not, but landmass-wise and where it's at, Greenland is North America. United States will have all of North America. And it's going to be called United States for the time being, but it will switch over to something else, which I'll get into that in a little bit. So Canada will be 51 through 56 state of the United States. Now, the 7 other territories and provinces of Canada will be added to that. 51 through 56 is what is just already on board. But you're going to add 7 more to that, which would be a total of 13, is soon to follow. It's just not going to be no choice. It's going to be soon to follow. So, are they going to just add all those individual states? Is there going to be 63 states? I'm not sure what they're going to call it and how they're going to organize that. But they're going to join the United States, guaranteed. Now, Mexico, first of all, United States also has some territories, right? We have American Samoa, we have Guam, we have Puerto Rico, we have Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, and we have the U.S. Virgin Islands. So include those with United States. I don't think that's in the equation of the 9.83 million square kilometers. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think that's part of that equation. United States also has 11 uninhabited territories. Baker Island, Baja Nuevo Bank, Howland Island, Jarvis Island, Johnston Atoll, Kingman Reef, Midway Atoll, Navassa Island, Palmyra Atoll, Serenilla Bank, and Wake Island are United States owned territories, uninhabited territories. We already took Gulf of America, like I was saying. So Greenland has 2,166,086 square kilometers. Mexico has 1,972,550 square kilometers. That is a massive amount of land total. So, with that being said, what's gonna happen? As you can see in the thumbnail, that is the map, an old map, a very old map of post-war New World Order. If you haven't studied into the New World Order and then the maps and stuff like that, everything, the whole world's going to be redirected and recoordinated into territories as the New World is set. Everything's going to be set in territories. And Greenland, Canada, United States, and Mexico, and like the Caribbean and stuff like that, that's going to be one territory. South America, Guatemala, El Salvador, stuff like that, that's a separate territory. Then you're going to have these other territories throughout the world, and it's going to be easier control that way, and however it's going to fly. But Trump is a freaking crook son of a bitch. He's coordinating and setting up this New World Order, and most of you people don't even realize that. He's doing it through the territories. He's setting up his part, because he's a globalist puppet. He's setting up his part on creating this New World Order. He's not in charge. He's just directing it from his seat for this country. Other countries are doing the same thing, setting up the New World Order to their area. Anybody that's not on board with this New World Order, gets attacked and blamed for shit. They make excuses. They use the media to alter the minds of the masses. This is the new world order. Trump is coordinating the territory for the new world. I don't know how long it's going to take. But as you can see on my thumbnail, the map that's made a long time ago is what it's going to be. They had this thing pre-orchestrated, pre-planned tons of years ago. Well before I was born. And I'm about 50 years old here in a couple months. That's what this is. We need to get ready. We need to get prepared. I say it every damn show a million times. I mean, prepare for what? Prepare for everything. I don't know. You just got prepared because nobody knows for sure what's going to transpire when this big event takes that monster step. There's been plenty of steps being taken to transport the old world into the new world, and it's happening right now. Now we got governor in New York and Muslim and people are flipping out over there like the Muslims coming out of the cave, so to speak, and just spitting on Americans and it's being transpired. It's happening. The budget cuts and stuff like that. Yeah, I want to get into this real quick. That Trump did the big, beautiful bill or whatever. Is also cutting schools. I got literally inside word of what's happening, what's going to be happening. And there's big budget cuts to the school. That's already been set. But there's going to be tons of teacher layoffs. That's it. So, I don't know about your area, but in my area, there's already been like 4 schools shut down. And I don't live in a big town. 4 schools have been shut down a year or two ago. Now, the budget cuts and the release of teachers, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is kids are going to start having to do what they did in the COVID or the COVID or whatever you want to call it. I call it COVID. Because they're going to start having to homeschool through computers like they did. And I think that COVID stuff was basically a test run to see how people are going to react and handle this homeschooling stuff. And then a lot of parents can't leave their kids home alone. So they're going to have to stay home and help their kids and be there with the kids because I don't know if they get in trouble or if they just have autism and they can't leave them there alone or whatever the case. But that goes with, they raise prices on everything, rents up, bills up, food's up, everything's skyrocketed. So you need 2 incomes. Most people need 2 incomes to support a household. And how are they going to do that when they have kids at the house that need supervised It's crazy. This is their plan. This is all done by design. They're just trying to make everything chaotic, and then they bring in these illegals that purposely want to jack up the country. You got these welfare people that ain't getting their food stamps, and just they're chaosing the whole country. But they got that solution that they're just sitting on. They're sitting on. Congress is getting paid. It had already been leaked out that Congress is getting paid when they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to be getting paid, just like the military's not getting paid. Airport workers ain't getting paid. All these other government institutional employees are not getting paid. Food stamp people ain't getting their money. All this crap. IRS is getting paid because they're not literally a government entity. They're for the world banks, just like the Federal Reserve. But I just want you guys to be prepared and know that Canada joining the United States, which you haven't heard much of on your media, and you're not hearing it. Look at Canada's news. Look what's going on. Look at Alberta's news. Check out some of the stuff on YouTube from Canada, and they'll show you tons of thousands of people. I mean, lawyer, everything. They are getting ready to join the United States. And the United States is being very quiet about it. They're not mentioning anything about it as of yet until the big announcement coming up here very shortly. Look at Canadians' news. It's all over. There's plenty of things on YouTube where they're showing it, and they'll cut to the chase and show you all the videos and the protests and the governments all over these provinces that are saying we're done, and they're doing it. I mean, this has been going on for quite a while. It is being put into action, and they're about to join the United States. I can see their frustrations, but I also know that it's got to be those local governments that are just tired of the corrupt Ottawa. I think there's some bullshit in it because the whole plan all along was for Canada to join the United States. The whole plan all along is for Mexico to join the United States, for Greenland to join the United States. They're sneaking in that roadmap of the New World Order as one of the key territories to this. So everybody's about to see this plan unfold, and it's going to be detrimental to the citizens. It might be a little beneficial to Mexican citizens. They're making it obvious that it's going to be beneficial to the Canadian citizens, United States citizens. I don't think so. Not because of the citizens from the other countries joining here, but because are they going to make excuses? We're just a new territory now. We're going to rejuvenate our Constitution. This is no longer just United States. This is, we're coming up with a new name for it or something. I'm speculating. And then we're going to have a new Constitution. And the first thing in the Constitution is no guns. No freedom of speech. No blah, 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 blah. Who knows? I know some shady shit is coming. I know that. And with the New World Order, guns is not in the playbook. Freedom is not in the playbook. It's not a new world for the people, as in beneficial. freedoms or anything like that. Oh, no. No. I'll get into that in another show because there's so much detail going into all this New World Order stuff. And if you're not familiar with it, you're going to be, it's going to, well. So, a big, huge step in the New World Order. United States is about to be the largest, by far, country in the world. And it's only going to be called a country temporarily until it's going to be called something else, some sort of territory or something of the New World. So combined with Canada and United States with Mexico and Greenland, 24.7 million square kilometers. Massive country. And it's going to be massive changes to our Constitution. So, however you want to address that and prepare for that, I get a thinking right now. Because they're not letting people know, so people's not planning. They're not mentally planning. They're not physically planning. They're not preparing for anything. And it's going to hit like that. It's going to hit like that. And they're going to catch everybody off guard. And you're not going to know what to do. Because they announce it when it's about to happen. You're going to be like, oh, shit. Like, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be like a deer in the headlights. You're not going to know how to react and what to do. You don't know if it's good, it's going to be bad. Because you haven't looked into it. You haven't researched it. You haven't done it. I'm telling you right now, I'm doing this show to put your peepers up and pay attention and to look into it now. Because it's going to happen. It's happening right now. Canada's the first one that's going to join. It's not going to be Ontario or Quebec wasn't on board with this. Quebec was one of the assholes of Canada, just like Ontario, but now all of a sudden Quebec's in it. And I told you on a previous show when I talked about the Canadian thing that Quebec is going to join, and then the other ones are going to join too, because they're going to have no choice. And now you find out it's part of the plan. All of Canada is going to join the United States. Mexico is going to join the United States. They had other things with this back some years ago where North American Treaty Alliance or whatever it was called. They've been talking about this for well over a decade, that they want United States and Canada, along with the United States, to join together. And then it just faded out. It disappeared. Haven't heard of it all this time. But little do people know is that they were still working on this. They were still working on it, and they still are. And now it's actually happening. Gulf of America instead of Gulf of Mexico. Why? Because there is not going to be a Mexico. There's not going to be a Mexico. They're joining with the United States. I haven't heard nothing about that in a very long time, but that's what's going to happen because it's in the plan. It's in the workbook. So Mexico's so disabled because of the cartel taking over and stuff like that. Watch. You heard it here first. Mexico will be United States. Canada will be United States. And Greenland will be United States. And I'm assuming not for sure, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic. I'm assuming those might be part of our territory also. Don't quote me on those, but I mean, it's all in a cluster with American Virgin Island and Puerto Rico. So we'll see about those. But unimportant compared to Canada, Greenland, and Mexico. So please look into it. Dig deep. Look up New World Order territory maps. That's where I got this thumbnail from. Look at that. The whole world is going to be divided into sectors for the New World Order. It's not going to be country versus country. It's not going to be divided like that. They're going to have major sectors divided throughout the world, and those individual sectors are going to be divided into sectors of how everything's ran within that property, that I say country, but it's not. Like, say we got United States, and they're going to divide the United States into like 7 sections. So it's going to be a controlled area within a larger controlled area. And so it's supposed to be all under one rule. The whole world under one rule, but there's people that need harsher instruction than others. You know, third world countries, they're easily manipulated, and you just bribe them with food and stuff like that. Well, United States and Canada, a Western civilization type world setting, they're probably going to need a little harsher instruction on that. So I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. I'm still checking it out, and you're never going to know for sure how it's all going to be panned out. I know what I've known for 25, 30 years, but, you know, they could have changed it up, whatever. Be prepared. Be prepared. Invest in seeds, non-hybrid, non-GMO, heirloom seeds. Get supplies. Get weaponry. And at the end of the day, you know, you lost it all on a boat accident. So just, I mean, this is crazy, man. This is crazy, and it's happening. It's happening. Please prepare. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Give me thumbs up if you like this content. I could post more videos. I want to get into more detail about this New World Order stuff, because it's happening, and now they're organizing these sections and shit like that. It's going to get real prevalent here real quick. New World Order survival guy. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next one.